Hey y'all, so I'm going through the books of the minor prophets. I just went through Haggai and now I'm in Zechariah, okay? And what struck me is with Haggai and Zechariah were sent to the people from God because of the fact that the temple was supposed to be rebuilt, right? And in the book of Haggai, it's been 16 years since the temple was started to be rebuilt, and it still wasn't rebuilt yet, okay? And that's because the affairs of the people has actually interfered with God's business, all right? And that actually hits today too. Like when God tells us to do something, our own personal affairs get involved with God's business, where God's business should come before anything else. Because if God tells us to do something, he's telling us to do it at that time for a specific reason. And we're just going to go through a verse in Haggai really quick. It's Haggai chapter 1, verses 4 through 6. Is it time for you yourselves to dwell in your paneled houses, in this temple to lie in ruins? Now, therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. You have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but do not have enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You clothe yourselves, but no one is warm. And he who earns wages to put into a bag with holes. Pretty much their own affairs have taken away, and like what they're doing, it's never enough. Like they're never satisfied. All right. They sown much, but they bring in little because it's never enough. All right. They eat, but they do not have enough. They're not satisfied. They drink, but they're not filled with it. You know what I mean? You clothe yourselves, but no one is warm because it's never enough. Okay. And the problem is our affairs also get involved and hinder the work of God. And a lot of times the enemy will bring these affairs into our minds and into our lives as a distraction to finish the work of God. Okay. God tells us to do his business. Jesus even says, I'm about my Father's business. I'm not about my own business. But even today, it hits that our own affairs trump what God has told us to do. And I admit I'm guilty of it as well. But this is a time where God is telling us to do certain things, and he's telling us to do these certain things at that time for a reason. Because if he told us to do something and we hold off on it, what's the point of telling us to do it if he knows that we're going to hold off on it? God tells us to do certain things for a certain purpose, for a specific time, but yet we let our own affairs and our own wants and desires hinder the work of God. So let me ask you today, what has God told you to do where you're allowing your own affairs to hinder the work that he's telling you to do?